UN 영어뉴스 The 7 biggest work trends of 2023. AI, return to office, the sum of strikes and more. Both laborers and employers found themselves working through a roller coaster of changes this year. The work world has been a moving target for a while now. In 2023, some of the unresolved issues of the past 3 years settled, especially around the return to office. Yet evolving technology and a surge in organized labor meant plenty of new themes cropped up. They combined for a year of work unlike any other. AI began its inevitable rise. The launch of ChatGPT on 30 November 2022 set the stage for a tidal wave of workplace changes in 2023. The impact of artificial intelligence on the labor force and the future of work as we know it was perhaps the most high-profile topic of the year, and for good reason. Generative AI quickly came to infiltrate nearly every element of work, both for employers and workers. Recruiters began to see job applicants sending in materials written with ChatGPT. Workers began to integrate the technology into their daily jobs, depending on it, to the point that they found ways to secretly access the tools if they were banned. One of the most ubiquitous worries, even existential concerns among workers, was whether AI would come for their jobs, especially as 2023 data from firms including Goldman Sachs and McKinsey and Company indicated replacement by robot may be imminent for many people. The answer is still murky. Some experts say the first jobs on the generative AI chopping block may be entry-level roles such as data entry or customer service. Yet emerging advances are also beginning to threaten higher skilled knowledge work jobs such as graphic designers or music producers that workers mostly believed were safe for now. It's not quite time to panic, no. First, many experts say there are jobs that will be difficult to automate outright, especially roles that require a human touch, sophisticated impersonal relationships, or out-of-the-box thinking. And for positions that might be more vulnerable, experts also predict AI will end up as a supplementary technology instead of an outright mechanism for replacement. At this point, AI is largely automating rote, repetitive tasks that can be a time suck for workers and could free up employees to do higher level, more creative tasks. It also could push them to upskill, which may have long-term benefits. At this point, experts recommend workers embrace AI rather than fear it. The more people can understand the technology, both what it can and can't do, the more they will be poised to work with it in ways that can advance them and help them stay vulnerable to their employers. Workers are back to their regular commutes, as bosses call them back to their desks. Return to office became a reality for many workers. The days of resisting return to office policies are over. After nearly 3 years of push and pull between employees and bosses, millions of workers are back in offices, at least partially, whether or not they want to be. The cooling labor market has meant the power pendulum swung back towards leaders who put into place return to office mandates that many workers have no choice but to follow. While many companies have stuck with hybrid setups. Others, such as Goldman Sachs and Disney, have leaned hard into this newfound power, recalling their employees 4 to 5 days per week. Others, including Amazon, have threatened workers who ignore these mandates, either denying them the opportunity to advance or moving to terminate their employment entirely. Many companies who haven't fully returned yet have plans to do so in 2024. If the switch seems jarring, it is, since more offices began reopening in early 2021. Workers have largely been able to make their own rules about whether they come in or not, despite years of heavy-handed pushes from leaders. Yet as job opportunities have tightened, it's far more difficult to serve these directives. Since the Great Resignation is over, and most workers can't easily hop into another job, and even for the new roles that are popping up, just a small percentage offer a fully remote setup. Yet experts are important to caveat that workers haven't really lost, even if they are back into their daily commute a few times a week. The mainstreaming of hybrid setups means workers still have unprecedented flexibility and are unlikely to lose it entirely. Castle Systems, which tracks employee access card swipes for many businesses, has shown office attendance in 2023 is still a fraction of what it was pre-pandemic. Going forward, many jobs will have a hybrid schedule, a privilege formerly afforded to a select few, mostly senior employees. Labor found its voice, summer of strikes, hot labor summer, whatever the name. Workers made their voices heard in 2023 across the world. Millions of people throughout many sectors organized, looking for better conditions and wages, as well as career security for the future. In the UK and the US, healthcare workers conducted high-profile strikes after years of pandemic-era burnout and understaffing. Workers in transport, education, and service joined them in the hundreds of thousands. But two US-based strikes particularly captured attention on the global stage. On 2 May, the Writers Guild of America (WGA), representing more than 10,000 screenwriters, hit the picket line over issues including pay in the era of streaming media dominance and future protections against evolving AI technology. The Screen Actors Guild, SAG-AFTRA, also went on strike on 14 July, with the two powerful unions standing in solidarity over shared concerns. Then, on 14 September, workers at the three largest automakers in the country, GM, Ford, and Stellantis, walked off the job. The members of the United Auto Workers Union (UAW) were not only looking for pay increases from the executives that make millions, but also seeking to secure their jobs in an industry that is increasingly moving towards EVs. These disputes finally settled in the autumn, with all unions securing unprecedented gains, especially around wage boosts and job future-proofing. Experts say moments like this may be poised to continue. Not only have the successes of these labor movements inspired and empowered workers, but data also shows Gen Z is highly supportive of organized labor. As the next generation become a larger part of the workforce, they are likely to lead more pro-union pushes. Work perks redefined. Throughout the past few years, perks like ping-pong tables and kombucha on tap have faded as must-haves for worker satisfaction. The pandemic transformed what workers wanted from their employers, including new wellness benefits, more flexibility to work where and when they wished. Flexibility to work where and when they wished. Employers have largely listened, if not magnanimously than at least out of the desire to attract and retain talent. This year, perks have evolved even more. As workers across the globe have settled into their post-pandemic lives, employers have begun to modernize their suits as workers settled flexible work patterns, prioritized work-life balance, and found themselves with different responsibilities at home. Some companies are hoping to make jobs more fun, offering their workers multi-thousand-dollar travel stipends to unplug, or even doling out spot bonuses in the form of points redeemable for goods and services. Others are looking at things more tactically, offering perks such as pet-friendly offices and spaces for child care, even donations to charity for each day in the office to incentivize workers back to their desks. Perhaps this year's most notable shift, however, is the expansion of perks, catering to an oft-overlooked group of workers, Gen X. An increased number of employers are integrating benefits that help this sandwich generation, often caring for children and aging parents at once. Live life a healthier, more balanced life. Some of these new offerings include menopause support, healthcare clinics, elder care, and even paternity leave. Experts say these benefits are a direct way to address worker happiness and can pay off for employers too. Firms can become more appealing employers for all the workers. Become more appealing employers. Firms can become more appealing employers for all the workers, for often of leadership age. Is often a good deal for both parties. Many organized worker movements, including the high-profile SAG-AFTRA strike, grabbed attention this year. Living on #WorkTalk, work culture found its way onto social media in a big way this year. With the #WorkTalk, creators across many platforms, particularly TikTok, invited users to get ready with them for their work days and toured them through their offices and daily grinds, often amassing millions of views. Sometimes they complained about their employers and even quit on live streams accordingly. #QuitTalk. Perhaps most notable were the commentaries on work culture that came from this social media movement. The lazy girl job, coined in May by 26-year-old Gabrielle Georgi, particularly resonated with a group of workers who want to clock a few hours and do less work. Who wouldn't? Her videos racked up hundreds of thousands of views and launched a tag with millions of impressions. The workplace talk shift to social media was inevitable, say experts. This is especially true as work and life increasingly bleed into each other, and young people in particular haven't had the formative workplace interactions to build real-world relationships. If you are working from home, you don't have that water cooler moment. Maybe if you come into a job during the pandemic, you might not have workmates who you are super close with, says Sarah McCorquodale, the founder of UK-based influencer intelligence business CORQ. Along with the creative community, she says, #WorkTalk enables people to put a voice to one of the most important facets of their lives. It won't stop anytime soon. Workers stayed put, were checked out, The Great Resignation defined the past few years in the workplace. It was a sign of worker empowerment. Since 2020, millions of employees, especially in the US, left their jobs for new ones that made them happier, were more aligned with their values, or improved the overall quality of their lives. Yet, as the labor market tightened this year amid mass layoffs and an uncertain economy, mid-2023 data began to show the turnover rate for US employees had normalized to pre-pandemic levels. The shift was so significant that in August, economists declared the Great Resignation's final. For workers, this marked the end of an era in job mobility, and that's bred another problem. It's not that so many workers are out of jobs per se. Rather, lots are stuck in positions they may not want to be in for lack of an alternative, while openings are scarce. Subsequently, employees are leaning out of their work. Think the quiet quitting trend of 2022 at the next level. In January, a survey from Gallup showed employee engagement reached its lowest level since 2015. June 2023 Gallup data showed 59% of more than 120,000 global workers say they are not engaged at work. This mentality doesn't only lead to pesky dissatisfaction, it can also contribute to lower levels of personal well-being, says Jim Harter, Chief Scientist for Workplace Management and Well-being at Gallup. New folks arrived to serve the needs of Gen X workers, the sandwich generation. This leaves workers in a better place, of course, but companies also stand to suffer. Since productivity and morale falls off a cliff with this engagement, so as workers check out, experts say it's up to leaders to light their employees' fires again. That means investing in their careers, supporting them with the same earnestness they did during the pandemic, and working on building culture. It may be tempting for employers to sit back if they are not fearful their employees will leave, but such a decision stands to hurt everyone. A serious look at four-day work week. Four-day work week trials kicked off in 2022 and spread across the globe in 2023, both in public and private sectors. In many cases, they have been successful. After the large-scale UK four-day work week pilot from February, 92% of participating employers said they would continue with a shorter work week following the program. Nearly a third made the change permanent. Workers have reported lower burnout and stress and released the time off. Companies have loved seeing their workers happier and more engaged, which has led to sustained productivity and employee retention. More companies are giving the four-day work week a go, with others codifying the setup in the coming months. Some firms are also giving the format a try, with the hope that a short week may lure workers back into the office. Are 32-hour work weeks imminent for all workers, as positive as the results have been, and even as more firms jump in? Probably not. For instance, not every company that's tried it has declared the experiment a resounding success. Some leaders found cramming 5 days of work into 4 was stressful for employees, and sometimes failed customers. Other firms simply may not be set up to ever implement the change, whether due to the nature of their businesses or because it's not a cultural fit. Overall, the biggest workplace themes of the year: shift, how, where, and when we worked, and their impact will set the tone for 2024.